Today's class is about accounts payable and detailed posting and daily process. This is part 2 of the training video on accounts payable. We'll actually walk through the process of posting AP invoices, returning the part, and talk about the daily process of auditing an invoice. These classes are being put on by Auto Apps Inc. Bruce and Paul are not affiliated with R-Rider and Progressive Automotive Systems. R-Rider is a registered trademark of Progressive Automotive Systems. So as we jump into payables, it's important that the setup is done correctly, and you'll notice there's a post AP invoice here, and it should be set to detail posting. And when you click on and post an AP, when you order a part, you should be ordering that part by the invoice number. So no part should be ordered without an invoice number unless it's an inventory item that you're replenishing the inventory. You also should have in setup, if I went to setup, that's what the plus key lets me do, is you should have a space in front of your most popular suppliers. That way they're at the top always. So that way you can just grab them real quickly and you don't have to search your list, and you want to save as many keystrokes as you can. So in this case, this is a Napa that's come in, and it's come in, we're going to say it came in on 1/11, and we're going to put Napa's invoice number in. And we're going to, the purchase order number, when you click on the invoice itself, will fill out the purchase order number for you, and it'll put an RO in that, and that invoice number will be attached to that invoice from the Napa payables. You can pick whether it's a charge, it's a petty cash, you're going to write a check, or if you're going to use one of your credit cards. In this case, we're simply going to charge it. Once you hit next, you're going to have the option to go to repair order, to put it into inventory, or is it a shop supply or cost account for shop supplies. We do not recommend posting into inventory here unless it's just 1 or 2 parts. If you have multiple parts, those need to be posted through inventory, through purchase order management, and then you'll be able to post that AP invoice at that time. Because once you start posting here, you can't quit. And so that's why it's important when you have multiple parts to do that through inventory purchase order management. In this case, we're going right to the inventory. We're receiving some parts through that. Because we used the PO number, I'm looking at the PO number on that invoice because it's tied together. In this case, it's going to go to 78482. I double click on that, and it's going to bring up the parts that have not been received yet. So if the part had been received in already, then it would already be in the system itself. You can see that we received in the shocks at this time is when you would go ahead and put it in the correct parts department, depending on how you have your system set up. And you want to make it easy to do that, so I'm simply going to put that to shocks and struts by hitting S. You can see that it automatically pulled that pricing from how you have it set up. And I'm just going to hit OK on the next part. And then you're going to see there's no price on the pad. So I'm going to go ahead and verify the cost. We're always verifying the cost. And we got the selling price. We can either use retail price or we can use smart pricing by clicking on smart pricing. And then by looking at the question mark, you can see how that metrics pricing was set up as a vendor. And that's another class. At the same time, we want to put this into the brake pads department so we can track that. We click OK. And what we're doing is making sure that we're getting good information on the supplier. We're verifying the cost at the same time. So as we're looking at that invoice in our hand, and when they're now done because the load adjusters had not come in, we're verifying the cost matches the cost of that invoice that I'm looking at as I'm posting this invoice. Once it is, what you want to do is simply hit post, it'll ask you, it posts when it asks you, do you want to print an invoice? So you want to see that. I'm just going to say no because I know it went through. And now if I go to that, you're going to see that the 3 parts that I posted are in black, and I'm still waiting on the rear load adjuster. So that's the process of being able to instantly see which parts are here and not here. Another feature benefit is by doing that, the technicians can instantly see in TechConnect which parts are here and not here, and they can see which parts are pending. And once you receive it, it actually turns it to be green and shows the invoice number for that technician. So this process works well with the AutoApp software products, with TechConnect and Service Connect, allowing you to instantly see as a service advisor which parts are here and not here, and making that posting process as simple as possible, and tying live to our software tools that help with technician knowing everything they need to know through their Service Connect. So let's say one of these parts, you came back and you didn't need the rotors. You came back and found out that the thickness was okay. Then what we want to do is click on return, and we want to require why was it returned. Was it boxed wrong? Repairs may have been declined, or part not needed after all. And then I would simply process that. So I should have, even though I know I was going to return them, I still need to put them on the invoice and process them to the invoice and track them for part returns, and then that won't print on the invoice, but it tracks that you've got it and also puts it in for parts returns to be tracked to make sure you've got a credit back on those parts returned. So as we walk through the process of posting the invoices, as best practice is you're going to post those invoices as soon as they come in. By ordering it by the invoice number, it allows anybody in the service center to post those invoices very quickly, and we're able to change statuses, and we're able to have everything flow. At the same time, we know all that flows into accounts payable. So again, at the end of the day, you're simply going to go to reports. You're simply going to, in most of the time, you wouldn't even have to change the date. You're then going to run detail expenses by supplier report, and you're going to just print that out. You're going to have everything in supplier order, invoice order, so it's just really easy to manage. You can see the RO numbers with each invoice number, so you have an audit trail of where that part came from, and also when that part comes back, or that car comes back in history, we'll have a history of where you bought it from and what invoice was on it if you needed to get a warranty for that particular part. So again, the accounts payable is extremely easy to use. It's important that it's set up correctly in configuration, and then also being able to go into your suppliers and just making it easy by putting a space in front of your most common suppliers, and making the process of posting AP very simple that anyone in the service center can do when the parts arrive. That way the technicians instantly know the parts are here through the Service Connect product. So this is the second part of the training on accounts payable.